Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Shade with Queen. And today we will be discussing the case of Nolan Xavier Wells, an 18-year-old student athlete from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, has become a national talking point following his tragic death over the 4th of July weekend in 2026. Okay, so with that being said, let me do my introduction.
Uh, you
Okay, so let's get into it because there's a lot of updates that happened recently. You can see the background. This is the latest update, but we're going to get into that in a second. Um, we're going to talk about and watch a few clips on just what happened and hear from his attorney, Ben Crump, and the mom and the father, and everything that's been un- under un- ongoing with this investigation. So, with that being said, the disappearance in Discovery, the trip on July 4th, 2026, Nolan Wells, a wide receiver for Southwest Mississippi Community College, traveled. He traveled by boat with his friends, with three of his friends, um, to celebrate Independence Day. So, according to the statements, the mother of the friends in their boat began taking on water at 4:30 due to a faulty pump. They claim Nolan chose to stay on the island with the intention of hitching a rat. So why is that important? Well, we'll figure out why that's important later. They're saying once again that he chose to stay on the island, okay, and get it back and get a ride back to the mainland with another group. Nolan was reportedly the only black individual in his group, while his friends were all white. Okay, as you can see in the background. So, um, the case has drawn immense public attention due to several details that the family and their legal team argue do not add up. So the family hired Ben Crump, apparently, and he's been on the case since last week. And there's been a lot of speculation about this situation, and it's crazy. But we're going to look at some clips that's going to lead up to the new discovery that was discovered today. Okay. The phone and the keys of the civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, who is representing the family, revealed that Nolan's phone and keys were not found with his body, but were taken back to the mainland. So if he stayed on the mainland and he was saying that he was going to catch another boat, why would he not have his keys in his phone with him at that time? That doesn't make sense. That would have gave me red flags too. If my child they claimed that my child's keys and his phone were not with him when he was found on the island or nowhere near him. Okay. So the family tracked the phone by using the location app to retrieve it. So they use the 360 app. I have that with my children as well, and it's a very good app. If you ever if you have children, make sure, I don't care if they're grown children, anybody that you care about, just make sure you have that 360 app. It's always going to let you know what's going on. I don't care if they're driving, if they're at a store. It tells you everything about that person. It can be, a little bit, invasive, but if this is your child, then you would always want to have that app connected with them. So a lot of friends and family members that do use this app because I use it with my children. So another thing is the autopsy. Okay. So the autopsy noted that they suspected drowning and did not immediately suspect foul play, though they have stated that the investigation remains active because Nolan was an elite athlete and an excellent swimmer. His family has commissioned an independent autopsy in Washington, D.C. So they said that I don't know if Colin Kaepernick, I think he paid for the autopsy. Was it him or okay, I don't know. But I know that someone paid Tyler Perry is paying for his funeral. Spike Lee has stepped in financially. A lot of celebrities with big money and big pockets have stepped into this situation because it's weird, okay, that this all happened. But yeah. The Jackson County Sheriff Office has actively requested any eyewitness footage or photos from Horn Island on July 4th, specifically looking into unverified social media videos that allegedly showed altercations on a crowded beach that day. Okay, so we're going to get into a couple of videos. I should have had it already set it, but wait 1 second, guys. I'm gonna show a couple of videos. What the mom and everyone's talking about. Here, let's get into this one. Okay. This is the mom.
Taken on that day.
On that day.
That was taken on that day, specifically the one with all three of them. Whenever I had made the post asking for information, there was a young girl who reached out to me and she said, "Hey, Miss Christine, I know that in the report it's stating that he had black shorts on, but she was like, he actually had blue shorts. And those are two very different colors. Like you can't get those two confused." And so what she did is she's like, "I'm going to send you these pictures to show you so, I could use to show everybody like this is actually the color of the shorts he was wearing." Because she was concerned too
So they had sent those photos to her, or have they?
No, these are pictures that she took. No, she took the pictures.
Okay, so she was.
Yeah, she took those herself and she sent them to me.
She was out there.
Yeah, she was out there.
Okay, so and that same girl, I believe, also said he left with his friends that day. She's seen him leave the island with his friends. So that was another inconsistency that they had said, and it wasn't true. So yeah, let's get into another clip regarding this situation, and then I'll do some more commentary on this. Okay.
Tell me why.
Still early in grief, right? So we're kind of back and forth. Before we came here, it was our youngest looks just like him. So just calling him Nolan and just still feeling his presence. So he may not physically be here, but he's still here with us. I would not be able to sleep at night. I mean, I can't right now. Definitely we can't, but I definitely would not be able to, knowing that I didn't do everything as his mother to ensure that I knew what happened to him. And that's all we're asking for, is we're asking for answers. I tell him we love him and we know he's with God and that we will not forget him or the joy that he's brought to us.
Was there ever a moment that you thought that if something went down, if your son needed these friends, that the loyalty would be questionable because he was the only black person in this circle that he was in this day?
This is the thing. Regardless of the color of anyone's skin, your hope is that the people your children call friends will be there. Like that is any parent's hope, right?
What do you make of the explanation that it was because of a pump malfunction that they left?
I would not leave anyone else's child on an island. I would not leave anyone else's child stranded. You can give all the excuses you want, but you do not leave someone else's child anywhere.
You started to talk about Nolan and you said was, and then you corrected yourself and said is.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Still early in grief, right? So we're kind of back and forth. Before we came here, it was our youngest looks just like him. So
I'm
calling.
Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. We already listened to that. Okay, so apparently they said they left him on the island because of a boat malfunction happened, like I said, and he decided to stay on the island. This is what they're saying with a girl, but the girl said that he left the island, so that didn't make any sense. And who leaves their friends that they came with on the island? You know what I mean? It just wasn't adding up, and they had every right to hire an attorney and get their own investigation going with this situation. So let's look at another clip. Crazy. Let's look at I want to look at this one. I'm not sure if I'm able to, but we're gonna stop it because I might not be able to use this.
Came home. Now, we were on this when that devastating news came in. You'll remember earlier this week, we spoke with a member of the United Cajun Navy, someone who was actually a part of that search for Nolan, in the air, searching.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside.
Yeah, there's so many commercials with this that. Let me see. I'm going to get off of that one because I don't feel like going through all this commercial breaks and all these situations. But I have some more clips before we get into what happened today. Okay. Because this story is crazy. And this is what I didn't really want to report on this situation until I got enough evidence, because it was already choppy. It was suspect, but it wasn't enough information for you to be able to be like, okay, well, this has happened, that happened. I didn't want to get into any conspiracy theories, anything like that. But yeah, let's get into the mom once again, because she's so pitiful.
Mother of Nolan Wells, the Mississippi college student who came up missing with his friends on the 4th of July, explained to Michael Strahan how she got her son's phone back.
So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like, I'm not. He was like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it. And that highlights all these contradictions, Michael.
Okay, so the more I learn about this case, the more something doesn't sit right with me. And my thing is, if there is no foul play, then why not answer the simple questions the parents are asking? Like, why did Nolan elect to stay behind and let you all leave with his phone and his car keys? And I also question why Nolan's parents had to launch an investigation and track his phone down when his friends had it the whole time. Y'all, this case is starting to unfold slowly but surely, but I'm gonna keep y'all posted. Let me know what y'all think about it. Okay, so.
Whew. So when that was uncovered, that they was able to retrieve his phone on land with his friends and the keys. There's another clip actually with the situation about the keys. The keys was another factor when they went to go pick up the keys. They were saying, oh, we didn't know where the keys were and this and that. And then there was another girl that did an interview, and she had allegedly said that that they were at the house for like 4 hours. Him and his friend, I mean, not him, but his friends and the people he left with. And the mother of one of the friends is allegedly a judge. I don't know if this is allegedly or the truth, because I think that it's actually true that the mother was a judge. Where they so we're going to get into that in a second, because this story is so strange and so wild, and so unfortunate. And rest in peace to Nolan. And I give the condolences to the mother and father in this situation. I know their heart is broken. It's a club that no one wants to join, losing a child. So yeah, this is very sad. But let's get into another clip. Let's get into another clip, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm just getting into, I would like to get into stories like this, to raise awareness, because I have something to say at the end of this, regarding Nolan in this situation. But let me get into another clip regarding this story. Okay. All right. We'll do this last clip of what the parents have to say.
Phone call from Warren. I immediately called my friend Tashima and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like they grew up together. They played City League sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like I'm not, he's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it. And that highlights all these contradictions, Michael. The fact that they said Nolan was talking to a young woman and she said that he said, I'm going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys said that he said he was going to stay with her. And so that's an obvious contradiction. And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing. I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe that story, I'm going to stay behind and I'm going to leave my phone. I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone. And so then there's so many things their parents are telling us about. Even why didn't his body wash up with the tide on Sunday? Why would it come on Monday? It's not adding up. And that is the problem when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Yeah, so there's so many questions that need to be answered. And is there anything you'd like people to know about Nolan? What would you like them to know about your son?
They keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning. It's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else. And that's it. We just want answers.
How could you tell messages were deleted?
Well, his parents got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael.
So like I said, the phone and the keys were a big giveaway that, this wasn't making sense. And there was a lot of contradictions in this investigation. But guess what? Today we have new evidence, and this was directly from Ben Crump's page. So let's get into that. Let's get into that, guys. Sorry, I have a cold and I'm trying to let's get into this stuff. So let's go here first. Let's do this. Okay, so
involved in this murder, allegedly. This is Nolan Wells at a pool party that happened after the celebration on Horn Island, July 4th. So if this is Nolan Wells in this photo, and his body was found on Horn Island 2 days later, then it is correct to assume that there is a murder and the individuals in his circle is all involved in this murder, correct? Because remember, his father said they went out there the next day and walked the island and could not find the body. The body wasn't discovered until Monday. So that means there's inconsistencies in timelines, correct? 1 + 1 = 2. 2 × 2 = 4. Come on, guys. Now it all makes sense. They got y'all on a wild goose chase out there on the island when all the evidence is at the house. And there's no way in hell that they properly cleaned that boat, that pool, none of that. All of that should be scanned for evidence. They sitting on the evidence right now. They tampering with the evidence right now, allegedly. That's why it doesn't make sense why people are saying, how can something happen out there? Somebody would have seen it if he would have drowned or anything. It's just way too many people out there because it didn't happen out there. It happened at the after party. That's why his phone was at the house. He went back home with them. They all got in a boat. They all left together. That's why can't nobody recall him being left out there. He didn't stray him out there on no island. He went out there with Katie. That's why Katie was like, she don't know what she talking about. Katie got in that boat. Katie left. She went back to land. She got what people. She dipped. He probably met her out there, whatever. There might have been a point where they got up and met for the first time face to face, since he loves to be on Snapchat. See how I'm putting these pieces together? Katie got her boat and left. He got in the boat with them. They left. They went back to his house and they party. They used their excuse. Well, we had his phone with us the whole time. He was with his phone. That's why they scrubbed the Snapchat, because it was pictures and stuff from the party on the Snapchat. Man, come on, cuz. His mama said he loved to be on Snapchat, bro. All the pieces of the puzzle fit, bro. All the pieces of the puzzle. This was the one piece of evidence they fucked up at, because now it shows that he did come back. He did come back on land.
Yeah, so allegedly he came back. And another thing is, I forgot to say before we even got into this, that they did have evidence that they scrubbed all the pictures from his phone. So he didn't even have pictures from the 4th of July at all on his phone. Someone got into his phone and scrubbed all the evidence off of his phone, that was weird. Okay. That was very weird. Let's get into another clip. And this is all just coming, and this all came from Bim Crump's page. So it's not allegedly. These pictures are new developments. And we have the picture in the background right there to show you that this was after July 4th, early morning, July 5th, at a pool party with him. And as you can see, all of his white friends. And that's not allegedly. Oh. Okay.
And this is at a pool party. So there's a crazy update that is alleged in the Nolan Wells case. Apparently, that's Nolan Wells, and this is at a pool party that happened when they got back to land. Now, this is all alleged, but it's important. One of his friends recently posted on Facebook that they actually wound up going to a friend, one of the friends on the boat, Evan's house, for a pool party. Now, she does say that they were all drinking, but she says Evan, Wyatt, Andrew, and Morgan was on some stuff, substances. Now, she did say there was an altercation and a bunch of the boys were recording and standing around and encouraging one of the other boys, screaming, "Get him." And it sounds like they were talking about get Nolan. Then it sounds like the boy Evan's mother came out and she was intoxicated, yelling at everyone to leave her house before she called the cops. She then went on to say that they let everyone but Nolan leave the party. And the last she saw him, they had him leaned up against the basketball post inside the pool, gasping for air and coughing up blood. Now, obviously, the part about this that doesn't make sense is that the boys and the judge all said that the last time they saw Nolan was on the island and he decided to stay at the island. But remember, the girl he was with, Katie or whatever her name is, said that she saw him getting on the boat with them to leave the island. So
yeah, like Katie said, she seen him leave with his friends. Like he came with his friends. Okay, so it sounds like to me that they analyzed Nolan at this pool party, and there's a lot of covering up that's been happening at this house. And apparently, this person that owns this house is a judge. So this story is getting crazy. Let's look at another clip that I have. I have one more clip. What do you guys think so far? Please let me know in the comments what you think about this situation. Do you think that this is a hoax, that he never left the island? How do you feel about this situation, guys? Because I don't want to put my feelings out there, to be honest with you. I'm just saying what is evident in the evidence. Okay. I don't know how real these pictures are. This is just something that came about today, but it definitely came from Ben Crump's page. So I'm gonna show you that 1 second. It came from him, and he is the attorney who representing the family of Nolan. Okay. So here we are. Attorney Crump said, this is the Nolan Wells investigation update. The streets are talking now. Listen, I don't know if these are facts or rumors because no official statements have been confirmed. We sometimes have to follow all clues until the truth is found. Here is what we discovered on social media last night. Social media allegations claim a photo exists of Nolan at the land-based pool party in Jackson County before 1 a.m. on July 5th. So, there it is. There it is, guys. And there he is, allegedly. I'm wondering what they circled over here. I can't see. I'm not sure what that is. Why they circled that area. I'm blind. I'm so blind. I don't know what that means. Let's read the comments. And not one of these 25 people said that he was actually here at this pool party, meaning his body was driven back out and dumped. That also means that the judge is complicit. The stepmom gave the statement knowing that the victim was at the house that night. So yeah, these are people in the comments making comments about this situation. I'm not going to comment personally on this situation because I don't want to put my personal feelings into it, but I will let you guys comment down below to let me know what you think about this situation. But let's read some of the comments. See how not one of these people stepped up and said anything. All white spaces are never safe for Black people. I think I can agree with that. That's a whole lot of witnesses. definitely. And then you have to think of why the boy Carmelo Anthony defended himself that day. You know what I mean? Because of a situation that may have occurred like this. Now, what if he would have defended himself? It would have been the other way around, right? So, yeah. This is an unfortunate situation. The investigation is still ongoing, and I'm going to be still keeping an eye on this whole investigation and giving you updates on this. Let's read another comment, one more. The worst part is that the boy's mother-in-law helped maintain the narrative that Nolan had remained on the island for several days and is now trying to turn the situation around by portraying herself as a victim online of harassment. Once again, we can clearly see how this woman uses the media to present herself as a victim and create a distraction from the case itself. It's crucial to stay focused on the family tactics while continuing to search for the truth about Nolan. I'm writing this from Belgium, and please know that people here are following this case as well. Justice for Nolan. Yes, justice for Nolan, and I think justice will be served for Nolan. Somebody's going to be held accountable for this, and if they're not, then we are going to I ain't going to say what we're going to do. But this is about to go crazy, because guess what? I mean, one thing about Black people, they stick together when things like this happen. Obviously, his group of people that he was around were predominantly Black people. I don't know if he was aware of, of the king that he really is. But I'll be looking into this, and I will be following this case as well. And all I want to say is justice for Nolan, because this is I'm gonna leave you off with something that I have from one more clip that a girl from a certain area was talking about. Do I have it? Oh no, I don't have it. Okay, well that'll be all, guys. And please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is the first time I did like a crime series clip, and I did want to do one on Carmelo Anthony as well. If you would like for me to do something regarding to that situation, then please let me know in the comments. But thank you, and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.